A viewer reached out to our newsroom wondering why local schools aren't following CDC guidelines after their student wasn't required to quarantine after being exposed to someone who did test positive for COVID-19.
Western Mass News reporter Kristen Burnell is getting answers from health experts.
A Western Mass News viewer reached out to our newsroom with questions after their child was identified as a close contact of an Agawam school community member who tested positive for COVID-19. The viewer tells us she received a letter from their child's school which said their child was exempt from quarantining and testing because they were at least 3 feet apart from the positive individual and masked. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, unless fully vaccinated, individuals who come in contact with someone who tests positive for COVID-19 should quarantine if they are within 6 feet of that person for a cumulative total of 15 minutes or more. So we took our viewers' concerns straight to the Agawam Health Department, who tells us in part, the Center for Disease Control has its own guidance that it puts out, but the town of Agawam follows all guidance that the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and DESE releases for our school system. In June of last year, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education released its own information regarding COVID-19 guidelines in the classroom. And according to those guidelines, 3 feet in classrooms is a safe standard for physical distancing when masks are worn and other mitigation strategies are in place. DESE goes on to say that the additional risk associated with 6 feet as opposed to 3 feet is low when masks are worn. Western Mass News spoke with pediatrician Dr. John Kelly about why schools are following the DESE guidelines compared to the CDC guidelines.
So they've been following that protocol throughout this year and it's been working. The local guidelines will trump the CDC guidelines.
And Dr. Kelly says that the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education COVID-19 regulations are helping keep kids from being excluded from school.
And the whole goal here, I think, is for the Department of Education. They want to keep students in class.
Dr. Kelly encourages parents to get kids tested for COVID-19 if they start showing symptoms. Reporting in studio, Kristen Burnell, Western Mass News.
And if you have a question or something that you want us to look into for you, email us at gettinganswers@westernmassnews.com. Just be sure to include your name and your phone number as we work to dig deeper.